Arquívelo. Creo que aquí está. Ok, empezamos otra vez. Buenas tardes a todos. Gracias por acompañarnos a este webinar en el que se tocarán temas muy interesantes como el proceso de admisión a una universidad de USA. Se tocarán temas como el apoyo financiero, el proceso de admisión. Este webinar será impartido por el representante de la Universidad de Southern Utah University, Kendall Wilkie. Kendall, thank you very much for being with us today.
Yes, thank you. Bienvenidos a todos ustedes.
So I'm going to let you start, and at the end, we're going to have a question session, okay? Vamos a tener preguntas y respuestas al final, y él nos va a ir diciendo. Thank you.
Y también yo puedo ver las preguntas en el chat. Entonces, si necesito cambiar mi presentación, yo puedo. Pues, bienvenidos a todos ustedes y gracias por estar aquí conmigo. Vamos a hablar en cuanto a muchos temas, en cuanto a cómo aplicar a las universidades en los Estados Unidos y el proceso de admisión, temas financieros. Pues primeramente, perdóname por mi español, está mejorando, no es perfecto. Entonces, espero que también yo sea un ejemplo para ustedes que hay esperanza aprender otro idioma. Pues para esta presentación voy a hablar en inglés, pues Spanglish, para que puedan practicar, escuchar otro idioma, porque también es un requisito hablar en inglés durante una entrevista en la embajada. Si estás interesado en un programa de licenciatura o maestría, hay el requisito de tener una competencia en inglés. So, I will start speaking English right now for all of you. So hopefully, can everybody hear me? I hope. I'm not sure if the chat's working. But if there is something, let me know. And I'm sure that the Education USA office will be there to help out as well. So, and I'll be sure to speak very slowly in English so that you can all understand best. So let me first share a screen of a presentation I have. So just to start, soy el director de reclutamiento para la Universidad de Southern Utah. I am in charge of those regions in the Caribbean, in Central America, in South America, and then I have the grand opportunity to be in charge of Mexico specifically. So that is all pertaining to you guys, but I'm not going to touch on Southern Utah University just yet. I am going to focus on el estado de Utah and las oportunidades que hay en este estado. And also, the majority will be on el estudiar en los Estados Unidos. So my first question that I'll have for all of you just to think of, and you can respond in chat or you can just kind of have your own ideas, is America. ¿En qué piensas? What are those stereotypes that you think of? When you go to the States, oh, money. I see money is one of them. Maybe I'll just wait for the chat. Shopping. Awesome. Anything else? Fast food. Oh, dear. Opportunities. There we go. That's a 5-star. Any other things that you think of with America or the United States? Harvard. That's another topic we'll talk about. And Ivy League. Yes. Yeah. So Harvard, Ivy League, Yale, all those big schools are usually the first ones students think of. Siempre están pensando en los colegios o no, universidades que son grandes. So, okay, well, that's perfect to start out with. I have a video that I want to show all of you that kind of highlights what it's like to be a student in a university within the United States. It's not always those big schools. There are thousands and thousands of universities. So let me just switch my screen here real quick. You can see me, I think, right now. And let me switch over to this one right here.
Feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder.
Perfect. Could everybody, oh, I just saw the message that everybody could hear that fine. So you could tell that there was a lot of excitement. There's a lot of energy. There is a lot of, I guess, I'm going to go off the list here with shopping, with money and fast food opportunities. The ones that I want to highlight, are opportunities. If there's anything that you students are going to take away from this presentation, and hopefully it's not boring, there's one thing you're going to take away is that there are opportunities. And most of the time, the more opportunities come with smaller universities. Now, the university I represent, oh, I'm getting turned around to everybody. Oh, hello, everyone. Hi. The university I represent, hi, is not necessarily small. It's kind of in the middle range, but even kind of the smaller you go, the more money will be available to you and the more opportunities. Because there's not much competition, you have smaller class sizes, more interaction with sus profesores, and more of an idea that you kind of belong. A funny story for all of you. I once had a friend who attended Oxford in England, and he was in a classroom with hundreds of students. And in his classroom was Hermione Granger from the movies Harry Potter. And, you know, she's, of course, very popular, but there's hundreds in that auditorium. And the professor asked a question, and Hermione Granger, or Emma, she raised her hand and answered the question correctly. And some student in the background yelled, 10 puntos para Gryffindor. And everybody started laughing. But the professor didn't know who it was because there were so many students. The great thing about smaller schools is, one, the teacher will know your name. But also the worst thing about it is, two, the teacher will know your name. So if you're not a good student, so watch out. So opportunities, I think, is the best thing to listen to. But don't let me destroy your dreams. If you want to go to Harvard, go to Harvard. If you want to go to UCSD, go to UCSD. If you want to go to a large school, go to it. But just know that hay más oportunidades en los Estados Unidos, en las otras universidades, si me explico. All right, back to my presentation real quick. Okay, going to the United States is kind of a culture shock. And when you go, you're going to go through the first phase of the honeymoon, where everything is going to be great. The first 2 weeks, you're going to love everything about Los Estados Unidos. I think, isn't this called Luna de Miel? I think hopefully that, I see some of you nod yes. So that's kind of the phase that you're just in love with the culture because it's so different, it's so new. That's what happens to me when I travel. But then here, and that happens to do with movies. You know, there's tons of music, concerts you can go to. Someone mentioned fast food. The food, the portions are massive. Of course, we're having a huge problem with weight in the United States. You've got a lot of areas that you can visit. And then, of course, I'm sorry to admit it, but el fútbol americano is a huge part of the culture as well. Then here comes phase 2. You wonder, ¿por qué estoy aquí? There's always this self-doubt and ansiedad and worry that will end up coming to you when you're studying in the United States. And this can cause you to lose your identity. You have some uncertainty, you feel alone, and some depression, and some, like I already mentioned, some anxiety. Now, I'll just switch to me real quick. This is normal. Es muy normal sentirse solo en otro país. And most all of the universities that I know of offer services for all students, but also specifically for international students to work through these difficulties. You may not think that they'll come, but you'll end up having to face some of those prejudices no matter what country you go to. And I'm sure you're aware of the political climate in the United States that may make you worry about feeling welcome. And with that, I wanted to show you a campaign that the United States is sharing called, se llama Todos son bienvenidos. Y hay oportunidades de becas en esta campaña también. So let me switch back to my presentation to show you this, make sure I'm in the right place. Oh yeah, most all of the universities you'll meet will understand que no es fácil ser un estudiante internacional. So let me go to this video real quick.
In an ever-changing world, there's one thing that won't change.
SUU's commitment to welcoming and educating students from around the world.
India,
Saudi Arabia,
China,
Costa Rica, South Korea. Here, we are family.
We care for one another regardless of religion,
Race.
or gender.
At SUU, we celebrate our differences and create an environment where you will feel safe and welcome. And you are welcome here.
خوش آمده.
Du bist hier willkommen.
Aquaba.
siete benvenuti qui.
You are welcome here.
SU is home to more than 500 international students.
From 50 different countries.
This rich, diverse population opens up our community, our creativity, and our imaginations.
Our community was founded by immigrants.
And we will continue to welcome and support international students.
No matter what changes in the world, this will.
There are boundless opportunities to join clubs, find jobs, connect with professors, and push yourself out of your comfort zone.
Everybody is ready to help you whenever you need them.
The people at SUU are guiding me in my studies, helping me solve my problems, and celebrating my culture. No matter where you go on campus, there's always a smiling face.
You'll be safe, and everyone here will welcome you, just as they have welcomed me.
So I think that's a great video to demonstrate that the United States education system is really trying to make you feel welcome, because todos son bienvenidos aquí en los estados para estudiar, even though it doesn't look like it on TV. Here's a great resource for you guys. So You Are Welcome Here is a website. So all of you should write down this website. And of course, I know that Education USA will have this as well. But I'm just going to share my screen one more time with you to show you where you can find it. So you can type in, I'll just go into Google, You Are Welcome Here. And the first link is where you'll want to go. Now, all of these schools that are listed, and here up the top, you can see la información, hay becas y participantes. And underneath participantes, you can see all of the universities and schools that have pledged and promised to welcome their international students. And each university has their own video. And so you can find Southern Utah University, for example, kind of near the bottom, and that's the video that we just watched. So hopefully some of you can see some of the university that you're interested in, and if they're there, if you go to the top and see becas, you can learn about how to aplicar para una beca. And there's some criteria and requisitos. I think this is a great resource for all of you. to use. Let me go back to here. So I hope that kind of gives you some hope in studying in the United States, that you are definitely wanted. So let me pop back into this presentation to phase 3. So the first one was Luna de Miel. The second one was you're kind of scared. And then the third is Inmersión, or en otras palabras, ¿Dónde está la fiesta? You're very excited, and now you're back and you have your motivation to continue studying in the United States. My advice, be patient. Tenga paciencia. Remember your goals. ¿Tienes metas? What are they? ¿Cuáles son sus metas? Have that be your motivation. See the adventure in it. Just be prepared for any type of aventura. Use your own sense of humor. Don't try to become somebody you're not. Don't try to become a different person. Stay you. And one stressful moment at a time, deal with it. Work with the stress as it comes. And most importantly, pida ayuda cuando lo necesitas. Always ask for help, because there are services there to help you. Now, the admissions process, el proceso de admisión, it's different for every single university, but I'm going to touch on the requirements that are most common. So the first is to be open. Be open to your options. We've kind of talked about that. There are so many great schools. That is a requirement for admissions, which is weird. Of course, it's not going to say on the application, but you need to be open to all of the options. Apply everywhere. This is important for admissions. Y el Centro de Educación USA, ANA, that's their role is to help you out, apply to a lot of different places. A good tip with this is a waiver. Now, Anna, I don't know how to explain a waiver. I don't know what's that called, but most universities will have the option to remove la tasa de aplicación. And all you need to do is ask for that to be removed. They probably won't offer it to you, but if you're wanting to apply everywhere, that will be pretty expensive. So be sure to ask for a type of a waiver. Learn the requirements. They're different for every single school. Los requisitos son diferentes por cada universidad. Some will require you to take the SAT or SAT. Some will not. So for example, our university, Southern Utah University, does not require that you take the SAT, which is sometimes a relief, but sometimes you want to find some of those schools that do allow that. Consider every option related to being open, but this can be with el hospedaje, donde vivir, los planeamientos de pago. Always ask, what are the cheapest options for my schooling? Homestay, for example, is rather than live with other college students, you can live with a family. And that sometimes is a much more affordable option, and it can help you it helps you learn English at a faster rate. Oh, and I just saw the exención de pago de solicitud. Okay, always ask for that at any university. That's kind of going back to what we were talking about with a waiver. But be sure to consider every single option. Connect with an advisor. So what you're doing right now, and I'll switch the screen. I'm an advisor. So connect with people like me. Connect with the recruiters that are at schools. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. The advice I was always given was no, must know, must know. Eventually is sí. So just keep asking, keep asking. The worst answer you'll ever get is no, but eventually you'll get to yes. A visa interview is always very, very scary. I'll actually probably switch to this. My advice will be to practice. I'm going to explain that. So when you get accepted to a university, you'll receive documentation for your visa that you will take to la embajada or consulado to have an interview with un agente de los Estados Unidos, pues. And they will be very, very short and direct with you. And it's very, very important for you to practice how to respond to those questions, because their goal will be to find any type of malintención de visitar a los estados. And sometimes you'll just slip up. And that happens all the time. So mi consejo es practicar con Ana o con el Centro de Educación USA. O también me puedes llamar y podemos practicar por un video chat. And I can be very intimidating. And we can practice some of these questions so that you can have más confianza durante la entrevista con el agente de la embajada. Okay? So be sure to always practice before going into your visa interview. Next, financial aid. Siempre hay becas, siempre hay opciones del pago. One thing that's always overlooked is that most of the universities have the option to split up your payment. No es necesario pagar toda la matriculación, la tasa de matriculación una vez. You can split up your payments mensualmente. You can always have some options. So ask those questions. Figure out when can you pay, when you're having to pay, if you can split up your payments as well. And Education USA, use them. Use them as much as possible. That's what they're there to do. They have those 5 steps or 5 pasos para llegar a los Estados Unidos. So use them because they know what they're doing. Now this is my time that I'm going to focus a little bit on Utah, which is kind of part of let me see if I can get back. So we just talked about the United States as a whole, and now we're going to focus on one state. So not only do I love Southern Utah University, but I actually love Utah as a whole. And there are several universities in Utah, and I'm going to explain why any one of those universities is a wonderful option for you. So let me switch back to the screen share one more time. So el estado de Utah está ubicado al oeste de los Estados Unidos. We're about 3 hours of driving from California. And the cities that are probably the most well-known are Las Vegas, which is about an hour and a half away from the border, and Salt Lake City, which is the capital. Here's a video that I want to show you about el ambiente del estado de Utah. It is a beautiful state. So let me get that video prepared. I've got to switch the screen again. You'll see me briefly. And
picture this, your next trip, Utah, 5 national parks. First, Zion. You're walking, the ground rises, the ground drops, the ground becomes water. Next, Bryce. You're riding a mule. You're riding a mule under giant orange strip castles. You are not dreaming. You will not forget this. On to Capitol Reef. Take the scenic route, the really scenic route. Take a path you've never taken and see the stars for the first time. Now for Canyonlands. You're riding a bike. You're riding a bike on Mars. Now you're riding the rapids. Class 2, Class 3, Class 4, Classic. Arches, 5:32 a.m. Some things are worth racing the sunrise for. The horizon lightens. You round the corner. Whoa. This is Life Elevated. The Mighty 5 iconic parks, 1 epic experience. Plan your trip at visitutah.com.
so a great resource that I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to return back to me. I just saw your message, Anna, to show the students there. Is that what you're wanting to do right now? It's kind of frozen over there. I'm not sure if that was a message sent a little while ago. I think it was a while. I just got your message saying you wanted to show the students.
So I just want to show you that we are having a viewing party.
Hola, ¿cómo ustedes? Hello.
And these are very, yes. So these are kids that are very interested in studying in the US, and they are
Awesome.
having a commitment with their English and their their results at school. So that's why they are joining us today.
Great. Well, I'm so glad that I hope this is helping all of you, and I hope my English is slow enough, or mi español es más o menos bueno, to understand.
Yes, they understand. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna let you continue.
All right. Great. Well, going back to Utah, the next, I've got it on my slide, but I'm going to, I will actually share this. This is another thing you need to write down when we're talking about Utah. Studyutah.org. So make sure all of you write that down. What that organization is all the universities in Utah have come together to be part of a group, a union to help students understand the benefits of studying in Utah. So let me show you what the website looks like when you visit it. So this is Delicate Arch. You'll have the opportunity to go there if you go to Utah. But on here, if I click on schools, you can see all the universities and colleges that you could attend as an international student. You have Brigham Young University that offers all of these type of degrees and has this type of enrollment. You can see Dixie State University, which is located near SUU. Salt Lake Community College, Snow College, which has a very high number of international students and good prices, similar to Southern Utah University. University of Utah, Utah State University, Utah Valley University, Weber State University, and Westminster College. And all of these are probably universities that you have never heard of, but are very prominent in the United States. So if you go and you want to learn more about them, you can go and click on Check Out SUU and learn just a little bit about the university. And it'll give you the option to go and apply and learn more about the university itself. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight on Utah and kind of some of the options there. And those types of groups, let me go back. This type of website is also available for California, for Nevada, for Texas, for a lot of different states within the United States. So if you have an idea of, well, I want to study in California, see if there is a studycalifornia.org page. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight on the options that you could have. There's so many different routes you can go. Let's go back to this presentation. But what are the benefits of Utah? So I've listed out a few beneficios del estado. Uno es la seguridad. Utah is a very safe state. I can just walk outside whenever I want to at any hour of the night without feeling threatened or needing to be at home. That's one of the best benefits of Utah, which is why we have so many young families moving here. The next benefit of this state, hay muchas opciones, muchas oportunidades de crecer, de explorar. There are a lot of options because most of the universities are small enough to allow that type of growth. And the next, which is kind of related, hay oportunidades. We have a lot of connections outside of Utah that you can explore. So Utah is just a really good place to start out, which is why I'm acting as kind of an ambassador for the entire state and not solo la Universidad de Southern Utah. But now I'm going to talk about, for the last portion of our meeting today, about La Universidad de Southern Utah, a university that, of course, I'm going to say I love. And the reason why is because I am not only an employee, or I'm not only working for this university, but también yo era estudiante de esta universidad. And I have seen so many changes. So this picture that you're seeing, these are some of our international students that are visiting un parque nacional, se llama Zion. Utah has so many state and national parks, but just around Southern Utah University alone, hay alrededor de 14 parques nacionales y del estado. So that's one of the great things that we have. We have a lot of awards at this university that I could highlight as being one of the best regional colleges in the Western United States. The one that we just received is we are the third fastest growing university in the United States. We are now above 10,000 students. When I started as a student here, we had barely 8,000. So it's grown by 2,000 students quickly. So we have a lot of parking problems, which is a good problem to have. But my favorite award is we have the name, el nombre, la Universidad de los Parques. For 2 years in a row, we've joined a competition called Outdoor Nation, where all of the universities in the United States compete to become the most outdoor university. And we are the winners. So if you love hiking, running, exploring, biking, canoeing, boating. The list can go on. If you enjoy those activities, then not only is Utah the school for you, but La Universidad de Southern Utah is right for you. So here's another video that I'll show you, kind of showing why you should choose SUU out of all of them. So I will switch my screen and you'll see kind of what we're about.
Slow down. Look around. Breathe it in. You're not dreaming. In our own backyard, Southern Utah University has 20 national parks and monuments, all within a short drive from campus. Students go on once-in-a-lifetime adventures every day, thanks to an educational partnership with the parks and SUU Outdoors. Create lifelong friendships in a place where you can climb to new heights and soar to your fullest potential. College is more than confined spaces. At SUU, you get out of the classroom and explore places that transcend the imagination. It's our unique surroundings that inspire us. Find beauty. Find strength. Find yourself. This is the life of an SUU student.
So one thing I actually love about this area, I don't know if this happens in where you guys live. Los árboles cambian los colores. Do Pachuca in Pachuca do the trees change color? Okay, awesome. Well, that's I think always just necessary to have. So hopefully that kind of gave you some insight on what we're like. Another thing about Southern Utah is la ubicación. We're in the middle of everything. So let me switch back to here. Not only can you access a lot of outdoor activities, but if you're wanting to get away, go to a concert in Las Vegas. If you want to go to La Playa in California, if you want to go and visit some different services or, parks. You can go to SeaWorld or Disneyland or go up to Lagoon. So we're kind of in the middle of everything, which is really nice. My wife and I really enjoy it because we can just take a 4-hour drive and visit anything. So you can do every type of activity you'd like to. So just another kind of showing where we are. So Cedar City is where we're located. It's about 3 hours drive to Las Vegas and about a 3-hour drive or about a 4-hour drive to Salt Lake City. Algunos datos de la universidad. Tenemos 573 estudiantes internacionales. It's actually grown to above 600. So our growth in international students has been quite tremendous. En total tenemos 10,000 estudiantes, and of the international students, we have around 62, and I think it's 64 now, countries represented. Now, something interesting about our university is that most of our attention has been on Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. And not only am I a fairly new employee at SUU, but my position is new as well. So this is the first time, so this is a little wink to all of you. This is the first time that SUU has really focused its time and attention on Mexico. So that means that there are a lot of opportunities for you guys. So wink wink, hint, hint, that the door is really open. But go where you guys want to go. So let me go back to the presentation real quick. So I have two numbers on here, 19 and 1. What does this represent? For every 19 students is one faculty member of SUU. So this shows that our classroom sizes are very small. So for every one professor or staff member, there are 19 students. The largest class that I ever had was around 35 students, which isn't that big. And near the end of my degree, there were 8 students, which gave me a lot of opportunities to go and travel because I was part of such a small group. We could go and travel and represent the university and try new things. So if you like small classroom sizes, we're a great place. So yeah, around 73 or 73% de todas las clases tienen menos de 30 estudiantes. So you get a lot of personal attention. If you're a roughhousing or a not well-behaved student, maybe that's a bad thing. Just a joke. Of the graduate or undergraduate degrees, we have around 144. So most of them are available for you. Most likely we'll have a program for you. But like I said, I'm here to help you understand which of the universities in Utah really excel in that program. It might be offered at SUU, but perhaps there might be a better option that is doing a little better in a different university. That's another thing to consider. Just because a university offers a program doesn't mean it's going to fit you. So that's where also me or Anna or other advisors can help you understand, well, let's look at all the programs and compare them, because it might be a brand new program at a university and you might want some guidance on that. Of postgraduate, this is probably a little bit ahead, but we have around 17 programas posgrados y todos están disponibles en línea. So if you have some family and friends that are interested in finding something, but they don't want to leave, they can study online as well. And some of our pregrados, our licenciaturas, están disponibles en línea también. We've got 6 niveles del inglés intensivo. If you're needing to improve your English while you're attending the university, we can also offer some English courses for you to kind of help you out. Because there is, por ejemplo, hay español, pero también hay español académico. Y son diferentes. Same as hay inglés, pero hay inglés también académico. And sometimes you need a little bit of help understanding some academic English. Ofrecemos 3 niveles de becas, 3,000, 6,000, y 8,500. Y like I said earlier, they are available on demand. So these are the becas that we offer anualmente para nuestros estudiantes internacionales. And all you have to do is ask me some details on that. And then there is an infinite amount, this is my cheesy line, an infinite amount of possibilities at SUU. If you have something you're wanting to try, then we're the place to try it. And that's really the presentation I have for you. So while I show this next video, I want you guys to think of some questions and write them up, and we'll take them one question at a time. And this is just a video to show the campus, but it's to kind of give you some time to think and mull over what you saw. And estoy disponible contestar tus preguntas en este momento. So let me show you this this video right now once I get to it. There we go. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I am here to answer some of your questions that you may have. Oh, I can't really hear you. Oh, there we go.
Okay, here the kids, they want to ask about the careers.
Great.
I was asking if in the UTAP there is a career of medicine, of
Brain
neurosurgeon.
So medicine to be a brain surgeon, is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Great. So this has been something that I've been learning about recently. Being an international student for medicine is very difficult because of the costs. That is the hardest thing. So you can come to, what's your name?
Maria Fernanda.
Awesome. So Maria, so my brother, both of my brothers are studying to be doctors. They're actually in medical school right now. So first, it's very easy for you to get into a pre-medicine program. And the universities I would recommend would be probably Southern Utah University, University of Utah, and Utah State University, and probably Snow College. So to do a pre-medicine program for brain surgery, it exists. But the difficulty is going from la universidad a una escuela de medicina. That's the hardest part, because a lot of the medical schools will require you to have a very, very large amount of escrow or money to be able to get accepted, which is even like for everybody in the United States is like crazy because it's different for United States students than it is for international. So that was a long answer, Maria. I'm very sorry. That was a very long answer. But in short, is there an option for you to study for brain surgery? Yes. For undergraduate, there's no problem. The trick will be to learn how to get into medical school. So if I were you, would start researching which medical schools are very welcoming and accepting international students. And the school I would look at for that would be the University of Utah. So that's the school I would write down. Oh, I can't.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We have somebody else here wants to ask you something here.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Dulce, and I'm wondering if you can tell me how degrees do you have here? Because I want to study something like international relations, and I want to know if this university offers this degree.
Perfect. So it kind of cut out a little bit. You're wanting to do international relations. That's okay. International relations. Yeah. Most of the schools will offer that. Southern Utah University, we do offer like our business degrees that you can emphasize. You can have an emphasis, they call it, in international relations. And some of the requirements of that degree or that emphasis is you have to go and visit a different country for like 2 weeks doing some type of internship type deal. So yeah, a short answer is most of the schools offer some type of international relation program, and Southern Utah University does.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
And then here,
Hi, I'm Anya, and I want to study business administration, and I want to see like the opportunities that I have to study in the United States.
Wonderful. So that is a huge degree right now. And my advice, actually my advice is kind of separate from my answer. Data analytics. So a degree in business data analytics is going to be the future. So write that down. But yes, there are all the schools will offer some type of business degree. And of course, I'll like highlight Southern Utah. We just barely finished our newest building on campus, which is strictly for business related degrees. And they are opening the doors wide open for anyone and everybody. And this is for everybody to hear. One of our classes is in investments. And your degree, your grade is dependent on how well you invest. Now, some company donated $250,000 to this class. And you as a student in a group will take actual real money and invest it in the real world. And you'll be competing against other groups. And if the stock market drops, then so does your grade. If the stock market grows, so does your grade. So it's a really fun environment here because it's not a simulation, it's for real. So that was a kind of a side thing as well. So just simply put, it's very, very easy to find a great program that offers scholarships for you related to business.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
and here we have another.
Hi, my name is Alex, and I want to study the physics career, and I want to know the opportunities that can I have in the USA.
The only part that cut out was what type of degree you said, business?
Physics.
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 Yeah.
That's a great question. Here at SUU, I think we only have a physics minor. Now, as far as a physics degree, the only one that comes to mind is the University of Utah and maybe Utah State University. So, but that's in Utah. Are there a lot of programs and universities in the United States that specialize in physics? Oh, yes, definitely. But I don't really know those off the top of my head, since that's not the most asked for. So what I would do if I were you is I'd do a little bit of research with help at Education USA, and then I'd look at the University of Utah if that's kind of the main major program you're looking for.
Okay, I think those are all. Just one more here. Nada?
I was something. I was born in the USA, but I came to Mexico because of my family and all those reasons. But I was wondering if the scholarship of international admissions works for me, or in my case, it's different.
That's a great question. So let me just ask, do you have a passport?
Yes, I have a passport.
What nation or of residence is that passport? Is it Mexico or United States?
Well, my father told me I got both of them, but my mom says I only have the American nationality.
Okay. So it kind of depends. The more information we get, the better. My guess is that you would still qualify for an international student scholarship, but we can investigate that. That would be my guess, or at least that would be what I would be fighting for. To make sure that you get, for example.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet.
Anybody else has a question? Yes.
Hi, I'm Daniela.
Hi, Daniela.
I was wondering if I want to study nanotechnology or astronautics, and I want to know my opportunities in the United States.
Great. So it cut out a little bit. So computer technology, what was the technology?
Nanotechnology?
Nanotechnology.
It's still cut out. What was right before technology?
I'll write it.
Okay.
Déjame hacerlo.
I'm guessing nanotechnology.
Yes.
Nanotechnology. Wow. Okay. That is a great question. That's one of the few that I'm going to admit I don't know the answer to. So are there some opportunities? I'm sure there are, but I'll need to figure out which STEM programs in the States really focus on nanotechnology. And I just got a message. Education USA probably might have a little bit more insight on that as
We
well.
have research sites where she can
Look for that.
Look for her options.
Great. Okay, that's a great question.
Okay, that's all? She has one more here.
Hi, my name is Dulce, and my question is I want to study communication, so I want to know if Utah University offered this career.
Yes, that's actually one of our most popular degrees at Southern Utah University. In fact, I just barely returned from a week-long study abroad trip to Colombia that was focused and with our communications department. So communications is a very big program that we have here, and there's a lot of room for growth as well. Is there anything you want to know about the communications program here, or just want to know that we have it?
¿Algo en específico como journalism or así como to be como reportero?
Como fotografía.
Photography, like for National Geographic or something?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, so we have, it's called our media study, so estudios de media, and la fotografía is a big part of that program.
Good. ¿Listo? Okay. Well, Kendall, thank you very much for joining us and for explaining us, for taking the time. And hopefully we'll have you again for another webinar, maybe for the graduate part of the university.
Wonderful. I'm here and available. Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.